I think we're seeing a shift from the way we were 5 or even 10 years ago, around a flurry of companies that had come to market to treat single conditions, to now this shift of companies that are really focused on multiple conditions. And in the case of Livongo, we call that focusing on the whole person. And the reason we find it so important to focus on the whole person is because, frankly, if you have one condition, let's say diabetes, you're 70% likely to have a second condition such as hypertension. So it's very important that for the individual, we call them members, we don't call them patients, we call them members, the member going through that experience of trying to live their life on the go, manage their conditions, that they really have one unified approach, one platform, and one company ideally to work with for managing their conditions. One of the things that we have found at Livongo is that there's a really prevalent myth, and we call it the myth of more. And the myth of more is this myth that the more data that's existed in healthcare, the more devices, the more apps, the more options have somehow magically come together to cure healthcare for people with chronic conditions. And one of the things that we're working on right now is debunking that myth, because the reality is, although there are trillions of terabytes of data that have been unlocked, that more isn't always better. And in fact, that more can create noise for people with chronic conditions. So imagine you're a person with multiple conditions. Let's say you have hypertension and diabetes and possibly even depression or another behavioral health challenge. That can feel very overwhelming to be constantly bombarded with information and with data and with options and with choices. So what we're doing at Livongo is taking all of that noise and creating a clear set of health signals. So aggregating all that information, interpreting it, defining the right signals for the right individual at the right time, so applying personalized signals for those individuals, and then observing how they react to those health signals and iterating. So we're taking all of that noise and really silencing the noise and creating health signals out of that. I think we're on the tip of the iceberg for a transformation of how companies and health tech work together for the first time. I started in healthcare in 1996, and at the time, healthcare was incredibly siloed. You had health plans that didn't work at all with providers, that didn't work at all with the very few nascent companies like the Epics of the world, the Cerners of the world. Certainly you didn't have the prevalence of a wide variety of consumer-facing health tech companies. And so we've seen a big shift in the past 10 years with this growth of companies, mashups of new types of relationships between companies, but I think we're just at the beginning of that cycle. I think certainly in 2019 we'll start to see an unusual set of pairings of partners, creating more opportunity for consumers, more opportunity for growth and for change in the industry. And that excites me. I like that disruption. I like that energy that's happening right now in healthcare.